Right. No, I shall leave this on and I'll be back in a moment. Right. No, I shall leave this on and I'll be back in.
Oh, there you go. You got it, Becca. Yep. Ah. And which one is that, just for my reference as well? I repasted the YouTube link for you, Laura. It's in the chat if you want to look on YouTube.
Awesome, thanks. I was just looking at uh the chair with the background put up. It actually turned out looking like pretty illustrative right now, which is cool. I'll be interested to
I
see how
agree.
Selena looks in front of it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree. It almost looks like part of the drawing. It's kind of cool.
Right? Yeah.
So we switched from using Zoom's background to doing it in OBS, and it's definitely a cleaner image. So
You know what? I was actually debating last week. I was like, I was going to mention maybe if we could film one with and without, just in case, because I was curious to see what the difference was going to be. Um, but yeah, if it's way cleaner, why not do that?
Yeah, we just experimented. We didn't record it, but yeah, with the Zoom OBS, it kept trying to ignore the chair,
Ah,
and it was
okay.
like there was a bigger green halo around it, so it wasn't catching the chair cleanly. But OBS is doing a way better job. So
Oh, good deal. Okay. Fingers crossed that the rest of them will be that same way if we just keep doing it, filming it in OBS, same thing.
yeah, well, I think we just take a few minutes to experiment each time, and we can decide which is best.
True.
But actually, while you're here and we're still waiting, so I talked to Clara a little bit yesterday about the Earthbound thing. Um, she's okay with writing the new scenes if that's the holdup at the moment. I'm also okay saying no. So I have no problem with what you said. I'm just saying if we can help and get it done, great. If not, that's fine too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know in that the initial email that came through from Maggie, that I think everyone was CC'd on, she was still in the process of asking Julie if it was going to be appropriate or approved. And then I didn't see any follow up in regards to that if they were still debating. Um,
Gotcha.
so if Julie says, yeah, it's a go, I presently I am doing a vet appointment, which who knows how long this will take. So I did bring my iPad with me so I can start rendering the piece that Maggie had sent me and then get it set up to put in the shared drive. Um, and I think it'll be either a combination. So it's when the small screen pops in of the captain, and I don't know if that's going to be an easier, we build a whole new scene and just do a cut, so to speak, transition, so then the actor appears right after, or if Claire thinks it's more appropriate to do more of a green screened animation layover, similar to what she was doing with Mush Zooms. I don't know which would be easier.
Yeah, I don't either, but I'm fine either way. And the rendering is just you putting it against one of the like ship backgrounds, or what
I'm
kind of
not
rendering?
sure. You know, in the script, she said
Okay.
she wants it to appear 1 to 2 seconds. So I'm assuming the image is just an outlined, almost like a color block image that I'll have to transfer either into a JPEG or a PNG, and I'm not sure if she wants it on a solid background first, that image to appear, and then the Mars background window with the captain to appear right after that. I wasn't
Right.
quite sure what her full idea was on it.
Okay, well, if you need, just to throw more support, if you need me to help with some of the photoshopping or whatever, I can do that.
Okay.
And then Claire can help with the scene. So we can, you know, we can take some of that load off you if possible.
Sure. I'll see, like I said, if I can steal Julie for a minute just to see if we're yay or nay on the image that Maggie had originally sent. I have it in my emails, the file.
Yeah, and
that
she
I
sent
can-
another version of it this morning that looks like it's a cleaner image file. So,
Cleaner image? Okay.
yeah. Where did that one? Didn't I see something from her this morning? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so it's a full JPEG of just that head.
All right, yeah, there it is.
So yeah, if
And
it's
one-
just as simple as like cleaning out the background and turning it into a PNG, I can do that for you. If you want to do something more complicated, then, you know, I don't know. But,
You're like, that's on you.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they would feel about just changing the color to like kind of that green that's in the piece to tie in with the rest.
Because that's kind of what I was thinking, right? If we just take out the white background, change it to a color that's in your palette and put it up against, you know, just another color that's in your palette, you know, like
Yeah.
make that pretty simply.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm
that's all
kind of thinking
photoshopping
too.
stuff I can do without you having to worry about it if you want. Kind of weird looking. I don't know that it's very friendly.
Is it, you know, and then my other question is, can we rotate it? Because right, it's kind of off. It's like to make a face out of it. It's kind of twisted right now, right? Or like angled at 45 degrees. I feel like, but
Morning,
same
Laura.
thing.
Oh, Julie's back. So actually, Julie, we were just talking about Earthbound while we had a few minutes. So this logo that Maggie sent that she wants to be the background image for the captain.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay with that? Is that we hadn't heard back if you're approving that usage?
Oh, whether we can use that face or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he will mind. I haven't actually. There's no way to. I have to go through his son, and I probably would not hear before next Sunday. But knowing them for 30 years, I think you'd get a big kick out of it.
And would you mind if we do things like change the color and rotate it a little bit so it's not quite so diagonal? Yeah. Okay, cool.
And is it a background or it's like something that kind of blips in with the cap?
If I understand Maggie correctly, I think the idea is like, you know, if you're watching Star Trek or whatever, they have their like Starfleet symbol that comes up when they do communications. So it would just be like a symbol that appears for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
You see the captain.
Correct.
That's my understanding anyway.
That's my understanding as well. Okay.
Yeah. That shawl is not blue at all.
Yeah, it's got blue in it. It never
okay.
Yeah, because I could never. It always looked really green to me because of the lighting in Selena's house. This is the first time I'm seeing it as well. Yeah, why don't you try it? Put yours in this same size. I'm gonna leave it here and then we'll check the sound and stuff on yours, and then we'll see which one works better because the external mics make a buzz, so they're kind of useless. You know, the external cameras that were purchased are also kind of useless because they're all fish eyes. So we can't really, I mean, they're not really very
That's
useful.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know.
I was not involved in that decision making. They all just
Right.
sort of
I
appeared
don't know.
magically. So
Yeah. I'm gonna switch out Selena's camera here once she gets logged in.
So back to the original topic. Why are you at the vet, Laura? Is someone sick?
GGG.
Oh yeah. Our one of our cats, we found out a couple of weeks ago, she was coughing and having trouble breathing, and we thought maybe, hope, fingers crossed, it was a hairball or something like that. Turns out it's probably a birth defect, and it's chronic heart failure.
Oh no.
The portable bedroom.
Yeah, so it's been a rough couple of weeks for the pet area.
Oh, we don't need it. Yeah, because it buzzes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're at a specialty vet cardiologist today. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Poor kitty. Poor you.
Yeah, it's, like, geez, man, right? And then our other more senior cat who I've had for like 14 years, like, we have a vet appointment for her on Thursday because stuff's going on with her too. I'm like, could you guys just make it through until May? That would be super helpful.
Okay, so pictures up here. We're going to put it at a slight angle like that. I'll just slide it right there. We're just going to put it right next to it. Okay. All right, so now Selena's got hers. So Selena, I'm going to have you pin yourself, because I know you watch, and if you don't, just pin, you're going to see a bunch of stuff that's going to be very confusing, because you'll see you and then you'll see you delayed. So, okay. Sure. Just a second, I will, I'll move that out of the way because I had it there because you wanted to move the chair back because I had it closer, but that doesn't really, and we don't really see the chair. Okay. Where am I looking to see Selena in the background?
We're not there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, Becca's working on that.
Okay, sorry. I was like, I thought I had turned off the wrong thing. Oh, how'd she get way over there? That's weird. Okay, Selena, I'll go out of the room so you can take your mask off and breathe and kind of center. Yeah. And I'll be downstairs. Okay. Yeah. And then when you, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about the production screen yet. She's still working on it. So.
Okay. Hey, Selena, you can go through in real time. You don't have to be silent. You can take your mask off and take some breaths and get centered and actually go through it aloud for yourself so you can get oriented. You're muted.
There we go. Hi, Julie.
Hi. Okay.
So we're not seeing the wicker part of the chair anymore. Do we need to tip the camera down as such, maybe?
Can you stand up, Selena, before you come in? Okay, let's move the chair. Let's see. Move it. Oh, can you change your name to a dot? Because that makes a difference too. Then we don't have to crop out as much of the bottom of the screen. So can you rename yourself? Yeah, thank you. And just make a period. You have to put something there. But then that's less to crop out, so we see a little more at the bottom of the screen.
Okay. Let me. Ooh, how do I do that? Oops, wrong one.
Did you find it, or are you still looking?
I'm still looking.
Okay, so hover over, okay, I can't do it well.
Oh, okay. Is it good? Okay. Thank you.
I think we still need to tip your camera down just a little bit, Selena. You're using a laptop camera? Can you just tip the screen forward a little bit more for us? Yeah, that looks better. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm talking and I didn't realize I was muted. Selena, can you move the chair a little closer? Because you feel far away. Actually, stand up where you are. I want to see how far you're. Yeah, come up. So take one step forward. Okay, and then a smaller step. Okay, move the chair forward just a little bit behind you. Okay. Now come in, and when you're grabbing, just grab that to sit down. I want to see how close you come to the front. I don't want to lose your head. Yeah. You seem small. Can you tip the camera down just a little bit more? Now move the chair up just a little bit more towards the camera. Okay. Okay, let's try there. Before you start though, stand there, take a few deep breaths. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. In through your nose, down into your belly, expand your belly, your back, sides, and let it out with a nice force. Do that once more at your own pace. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Let it out with all the tension of driving here in the traffic. Let that out through your fingertips. Just focus on your being here. And on this next breath, I want you to release it with a falling ah sound and come down and find that nice, deeper resonance in Selena. At your own pace. Okay. And do that once more. And when you get to that place where it feels like, oh, this is a lovely place where I resonate, hold that and then make a nice, and let it out, big and loud. All right, good. All right, let's try this. Tell this story. Now that you're in Kennedy, you can talk to the back of the house. Talk to that person back there.
Julie, is this how far? For this side?
Can you go a little bit more?
This far?
Okay, yeah. Do you have a marker there that you can fix?
Yeah.
Okay, and let's look the other way. Good. You have a marker there.
Okay.
Okay.
And then what Senator Sensei was talking about on Sunday about me not using this while I run.
Let's try that through, because we're going to do several tests, right? So this is not so try it once without and see how that feels, because that's a totally new thing that was thrown at you. I don't mind you running with it. It's not distracting to me at all. I like it because it's always with you. It's a part of, you telling the story. But if you want to try without it, we can do that.
Yeah, I tried it at home and there's just too big of a pause in between when I take off the headscarf and then try to put it down in my lap because it's tied around over here.
Right. And you're using that time to untie it, right, and get it ready. Yeah. Okay, so let's go with what you've been doing.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, don't change anything. Do what you've been doing. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna take my video out. All right. Okay. Let's record it. I mean, you never know. Sometimes that first one through is the best one. You never know. So. Okay, when you are ready, Selena, nice big, deep, resonant Selena voice.
I'd like to share with you a little story about my great-great-grandma Reitzel. It takes place in the late hours of the night, Galveston, Texas, 1938. And on that night, 2 U.S. Navy sailors on shore leave spent the night drinking themselves silly at a local bar. All right, now let me pour you one. A little more. That's it. After knocking back more than any man could possibly imbibe and still know what a straight line is, let alone walk one, the two decided it was time to go for a stroll. They left the bar, and after stumbling around in the dark for quite some time, I'm working up a terrible thirst. Hey, let's go in here and have another. Bam, 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 open up. Finding the door locked, they did what any drunken sailor might do. Bam, 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 open up! Bam, 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 and they burst through the door. Now inside, great-great-grandma Reitzel had been asleep in her downstairs bedroom, Rudely awakened by these drunken fools, this no-nonsense Western woman jumped out from bed and called out in her low tobacco-colored voice, "You better get from this house, or I'ma use my shotgun. I'll give you to the count of 3. 1, 2. Terrified of the gruff male voice coming through the dark in the next room and sensing the shotgun pointed directly at them, the 2 sailors turned and hightailed it out of Great-Great-Grandma Reitzel's house. They ran as fast as their drunken sailor legs could carry them, down the street and through the door of the nearest building, right into the neighboring convent, full of Catholic nuns. Who in the Sam hell do you think you are? What did you, don't let them get away. Sorry, sister. Once again, the sailors turned and hightailed it out the door, nuns on their heels, chasing them down the street and into the night. And those sailors were never heard from again.
Okay, thank you. All right, Selena, that was not a bad first one. Okay, I'll take this down here. The sound seemed fine for me, yeah? Look, it's okay, so great, you're really projecting, nice deep voice. Couple things to think about. When you first sit down with the scarf, if you can, try not to sit on it, because then you have to kind of scooch and release it before you can put it up on your shoulders later to tie it. Yeah, so that's just, it's a new chair too, so that's, and then originally when you left the bar, you had, two different goodbyes from each of the sailors, one hand and the other hand, but now they're both on the same side.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was doing it. I'm like, oh no, it's the same.
Yeah, no, you do exactly what you do. You just keep going. That's good. Okay. So think about, let's put that, if you can, put the 2 different gestures for the 2 sailors in. Okay. I notice when we go to now inside, make sure that it doesn't get smaller. There's a transition in tone, but don't let your voice get smaller, because also you're tying at that point, and I think you're a little constricted in your, by tying that, because your chin comes down a bit to tie, that it constricts your voice a little bit and your voice gets smaller. But we don't want to, this is it's transition scene, so let's not lose. It's like, now inside, and if you need a moment to take a breath there, that's fine. Yeah, while you're tying and to get your chin up. And the chair's a little further back than we've been practicing, so now I can see what your hands are doing underneath. So, which is fine, except for GGG, as you're waiting to, just let your hands be grandma hands until, once there was a point where you're playing with the end of the scarf before you did the hands on the hips. So don't let yourself play with the scarf. Okay. And the ending. Yeah. We'll try again. That was good. That was a really good first run. I think you can have, as we warm up, a little more energy through the whole thing. Yeah, good. I'm glad you got your water handy. I'm gonna stop my video and pin. So before you start, can you just, Selena, before you do the whole thing, I want to just pull the scarf off a couple times and sit down to practice getting it on, so not sitting on it before we do a run through. And I'm also looking at what happens with the chair as you pull it off.
I'll to share with you a story about great grandma.
So, Brian, yeah, this stay right there. She looks really fuzzy to me.
Fuzzy, oh, in the sense of the outline? Yeah.
Yeah, the outline,
The green
everything.
screen is catching a little bit, yeah.
So, is there anything we can do about that? She looks really fuzzy.
Is there anything we can do about that? That's a really good question. The other thing we can do is just record it against a green screen, and I can add the background later. I can get a cleaner image that way. Otherwise, we're sort of relying on the automated. Becca, I don't know the chroma key. Is there any settings, adjustments you can do to the chroma key? Okay, great. Good.
So when you add the
Yeah.
background later, it's still chroma key, right? Or is it a different process?
It is also chroma key, but it's a different software that does the work, and it's a little bit more manual, so I have more direct control over what gets keyed and what doesn't.
I see.
But it's also more time consuming. You know, there's always a
Right.
catch,
So,
right?
yeah, right. Yeah, and I don't have any idea. I mean, like, what's, in terms of time for something, this length, how much time would that take to chroma key it afterwards?
Again, it sort of depends on how exacting we want to be. I could do it in as quickly as 20 to 30 minutes, or I could spend 8 hours. I mean, it's, obviously the more time you spend, the more precise it is, but
Right.
there's a trade-off somewhere, right?
Right.
Actually, it looks a lot better to me now. Whatever you just did, Becca, I think that helped.
I don't know. Her whole lower body is just, it looks extremely fuzzy to me.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, oh, okay. Okay. Just like her shoulders and stuff. I agree. The bottom is still pretty fuzzy.
Yeah,
Her
and even
shoulders
her
are cleaner.
face is kind of fuzzy, and it's so expressive. I don't want to lose the.
Next question is, which lights did we turn on? Can we add a little more light? Like, do we have the beamworks on and the bridgeworks on?
Yep.
Okay. And the rehearsal lights, all three of those are on?
Yep.
Okay.
So even with, can we just see her against the green? Like, if I guess I can turn mine on and see that. But what I see is different than what you see at production, right?
Pretty similar.
Pretty similar. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's a light, because even against the green, she's kind of fuzzy.
Well, if we want to just keep recording for today, I can add some more light tomorrow. And we can do a couple recordings without the background so that we can decide later how much editing it needs or wants.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm not on campus right now, so I can't do much about
Right.
that.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah.
Okay.
The only other thing I can think of, Julie, that might help is moving her a little further away from the screen. Like if she can come a bit closer to the camera, because the computer is maybe having a little trouble seeing the line because she's pretty close to it.
Okay. You want to try just moving up a little bit, Selena? Bringing the chair forward just a little bit. Okay.
Hey, Becca, within the user filters to that plugin that we did, there was an additional like chroma key filter that I think is supposed to help with some sharpening. Maybe we play with that a little bit post today. I've never played with it, so I'm not sure what it does. I'll research it a little more. Like I said, I'm not real familiar. I'll see if I can find any additional info on it that might help us for like tomorrow, possibly.
Yeah, it actually sounds like both of those might help. Like if you put the gamma correction at like -0.2 maybe, it'll brighten it up a little bit. That might sharpen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that made it worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Not a good plan. Sorry. Or maybe too much. Or like -0.05.
I love the magic. We can just make people disappear.
Right.
She's looking pretty gray instead of.
Yeah, I would take the green down a little bit. Is it a slider or do you have to type a number? Yeah, try like 2.14-ish, just on the green. See what that does. No, that's worse. All right, yeah, we'll have to play with it. Let's do that for tomorrow. Let's just record it without that filter for today, and let's record a couple without the background at all.
Okay.
Just against the green screen, and that'll give us more options to play with those videos later if we need to.
Okay. Okay, Grandma. All right, you ready to, let's go through one, we'll go through again. Maybe we can just try one without the background. Let's see. She's watching herself. Okay, I'm gonna take myself out.
Yep.
I'd like to share with you a little story about my great-great-grandma Reitzel. It takes place in the late hours of the night, Galveston, Texas, 1938. And on that night, 2 U.S. Navy sailors, two U.S.
All right. Sorry. All right, we're not going to use that one anyway. Let's stop it. Okay. Selena, so, okay, start again. Take your time. Remember to touch the scarf And then as you're picking it up, begin speaking out to the audience. Okay. All right, when you're ready. I'm taking myself out.
I'd like to share with you a little story about my great grandma Reitzel. It takes place in the late hours of the night, Galveston, Texas, 1938. And on that night, 2 U.S. Navy sailors on shore leave spent the night drinking themselves silly at a local bar. All right, now let me pour you one. A little more. That's it. After knocking back more than any man could possibly imbibe and still know what a straight line is, let alone walk one, the 2 decided it was time to go for a stroll. They left the bar, and after stumbling around in the dark for quite some time, I'm working up a terrible thirst. Hey, let's go in here and have another. Bam, 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 open up. Finding the door locked, they did what any drunken sailor might do. Bam, 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 open up. Bam, 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 and they burst through the door. Now inside, great-grandma Reitzel had been asleep in her downstairs bedroom. Rudely awakened by these drunken fools, this no-nonsense Western woman jumped out from bed and called out in her low, tobacco-colored voice, "You better get from this house, or I'ma use my shotgun. I'll give you to the count of 3. 1, 2. Terrified of the gruff male voice coming through the dark in the next room and sensing the shotgun pointed directly at them, the 2 sailors turned and hightailed it out of great-grandma Reitzel's house. They ran as fast as their drunken sailor legs could carry them down the street and through the door of the nearest building right into the neighboring convent full of Catholic nuns. Who in the Sam hell do you think you are? Where did you don't let them get away? Sorry, sister. Once again, the sailors turned and hightailed it out the door, nuns on their heels, chasing them down the street and into the night. And those sailors were never heard from again.
Nice. Yeah, nice, really nice energy there, Selena. How'd that one feel?
Better.
Yep, warming up into her. Yep, Grandma's coming alive, man. Okay, good. That was really good with the hand. That was a very nice energy all the way through. Very clear on your diction. I'm just gonna give you a couple very small things, only because we can. What's happening? Is the chair coming apart?
I just heard it. I heard something snap.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it was.
Okay, as long as it's not gonna, okay. Just check and make sure there's no, because it is wicker, so wicker, maybe some of the wicker broke, but maybe as long as the wood underneath is not broken.
It looks okay.
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 All right. Well, okay. I know with your your grandma Reitzel voice, I don't want you to do 10 times in a row. So that was good timing on picking up, like touching and starting to speak. So imagine as you come in, come in with some intent, like you're coming in to get that scarf and start to tell your story. Because I kind of feel like you're waiting to get the scarf to be on stage. So from the time you're walking in, you're walking onto the stage, like I'm coming in to tell a story. So a little more intent there as you come in. Yeah. And then the only other thing I saw in this one is like the whole knocking back any more than any man can imbibe, let's walk a straight line. What is the line exactly? After knocking back any more than any man could possibly imbibe and walk a straight line, that section, it drags just a little bit. So think of just driving the story forward with it. It is you narrator still, like, but think of still driving the story forward with those lines. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. Otherwise, okay. And tying. Now inside, I know I told you to take a moment so you could breathe and so you could tie this. Yeah, so do that. If we can shorten it a little bit, it would be great, but it's fine as it is if you need that time to adjust. Because as you tie it, you bring your head down, right?
Yeah, I'm trying not to as much.
Now inside, because you have to bring it down to tie. Yeah? Now inside, great. So now inside, and you're tying, great. Okay. Do it out loud.
First through the door. Now inside, GGGrandma Reitzel had been.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, because then it goes back on your head. So do it the way you've been doing it, because it needs to be on your, where you have it lower on your forehead. Yeah, because otherwise it's way up on, it doesn't have the same effect. Yeah. So. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right, let's try once more. We'll record this one too, and yeah, she's still looking. So Brian, can I ask a question? Because looking at Selena, Selena, stay there, sorry. I'm looking, so would more light is that what would make Selena clearer against the green screen too?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll add some light for tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
I'm coming in tomorrow anyway. I'll just come a little bit earlier to make sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Selena, let's do a couple more, and then we may not, I don't know if we need to go until 12 because I don't want to drag this out too long. Okay, I'm just,
I'd like to share with you a little story about my GGGrandma Reitzel. It takes place in the late hours of the night, Galveston, Texas, 1938. And on that night, 2 U.S. Navy sailors on shore leave spent the night drinking themselves silly at a local bar. Now let me pour you one. A little more. That's it. After knocking back more than any man could possibly imbibe,
and still know what a straight line is, let alone walk one. The two decided it was time to go for a stroll. They left the bar, and after stumbling around in the dark for quite some time, I'm working up a terrible thirst. Hey, let's go in here and have another. Bam, 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 open up. Finding the door locked, they did what any drunken sailor might do. Bam, 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 open up. Bam, 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 and they burst through the door. Now inside, GGGrandma Reitzel had been asleep in her downstairs bedroom. Rudely awakened by these drunken fools, this no-nonsense Western woman jumped up from bed and called out in her low tobacco-colored voice, "You better get from this house, or I'ma use my shotgun. I give you to the count of 3. 1, 2. Terrified of a gruff male voice coming through the dark in the next room and sensing the shotgun pointed directly at them, the two sailors turned and hightailed it out of GGGrandma Reitzel's house. They ran as fast as their drunken sailor legs could carry them, down the street and through the door of the nearest building, right into the neighboring convent, full of Catholic nuns. Who in the Sam hell do you think you are? What did you do? Don't let them get away. Sorry, sister. Once again, the sailors turned and hightailed it out the door, nuns on their heels, chasing them down the street and into the night. And those sailors were never heard from again.
That one was really nice. Yeah, there's some great, your drunken sailors are just so clear. Good. Yeah, entrance, very nice with the entrance, and the scarf is feeling like you're not sitting on it anymore, yeah? So, yeah, it's there, okay. And that whole, the straight line, that's good. That's a good energy to bring through there. Nice. Okay, I can't read my handwriting.
Lily, can you hear this?
Yes?
Do you want me to include that? Or is it not loud enough?
That's loud enough. Yeah, what are you hitting?
I'm stomping my foot.
Ah, okay, let's try that. Yeah, because we didn't do it before because we couldn't hear it, but.
I only have perfect.
That's right.
Bam, bam, bam. Open up. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. Ow.
The thing is that when you get bigger, I don't want to see your legs moving.
Yeah.
So it's when bam, bam, bam. If you can keep your. Let's try. I can see your legs moving now.
Okay.
Let's see. What if you're a little bit closer? Just a tiny bit. Okay. Now move your legs. Yeah, I like the sound effect, but I don't like visually seeing the legs move to get the stamp. So let's keep it as it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's what that says. Is nice drunken sailors. The only thing that I want to say, we'll just do the sailor 2. When you go in a little more, when you say a little more, that's it. Sometimes you say a little more is Selena voice, and then I hear that's it. Then so your sailor voice comes in. So make sure to keep your sailor voice in there for a little more. when you transition there. Nice with the sailor, okay. Okay. Since we probably will need to add some light and record tomorrow, again, let's just try once more through with, and then we can let production go, I think. And then if you want to just run through a few times after that, Selena, that'd be fine. So we can just work some things so you feel comfortable. Okay. Okay. So let's try one more time through, keeping in your sailor voice, and then we'll just record this one, the last one, and then we'll, I don't want to keep production if we're going to record tomorrow again.
I'd like to share with you a little story about my great-great-grandma Reitzel. It takes place in the late hours of the night, Galveston, Texas, 1938. And on that night, 2 U.S. Navy sailors on shore leave spent the night drinking themselves silly at a local bar. All right, now let me pour you one. A little more. That's it. After knocking back more than any man could possibly imbibe and still know what a straight line is, let alone walk one, the two decided it was time to go for a stroll. They left the bar, and after stumbling around in the dark for quite some time, I'm working up a terrible thirst. Hey, let's go in here and have another. Bam, 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 open up. Finding the door locked, they did what any drunken sailor might do. Bam, 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 open up. Bam, 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 and they burst through the door. Now inside, great-great-grandma Reitzel had been asleep in her downstairs bedroom. Rudely awakened by these drunken fools, this no-nonsense Western woman jumped out from bed and called out in her low tobacco-colored voice, "You better get from this house, or I'ma use my shotgun. I'll give you to the count of 3. 1, 2. Terrified of the gruff male voice coming through the dark in the next room and sensing the shotgun pointed directly at them, the 2 sailors turned and hightailed it out of great-great-grandma Reitzel's house. They ran as fast as their drunken sailor legs could carry them, down the street and through the door of the nearest building, right into the neighboring convent, full of Catholic nuns. Who in the sandhill do you think you are? What did you do? Don't let them get away. Sorry, sister. Once again, the sailors turned and hightailed it out the door, nuns on their heels, chasing them down the street and into the night. And those sailors were never heard from again.
Nice. Okay. That's me. Yeah, so what do you think, Brian and Becca, about, I don't know, we can continue to record some more in case, but I think could also just wait and do more recording tomorrow with a little more light.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, I might work a little bit more with Selena just on a couple little things because we have time. And, but, I think, yeah, the tech aspect of this one is simple. We've confirmed all of those things. So your eyes just got really big, Selena. What was up?
I heard it.
Oh, that was my computer telling me that I have Microsoft updates. I don't know why, but yeah, so yeah, that was a really nice run through. I think that the one, yeah, they're all, I think overall it's going very smoothly. It's very clear. You're communicating, the story, and I'm seeing all of your characters come through. This last one, there were a few places where it just like you had a breath or a swallow at a funny place, so it interrupted the flow, and that happens, and I think that's also part of like doing it, now 4 times in a row or 5 times in a row. So yeah. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How's your voice?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's just